Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Fifth Quarter Podcast. And before we rip a new one to the Browns, I just want to give two shout outs. I want to give a shout out to the Cleveland Guardians. Very excited to see how they play next year. And a huge shout out to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're playing the Raptors right now. So very excited for basketball season. But with that being said, we're going to jump right into it. Question of the week. Sean asked on Twitter, do you think that Deshaun Watson returning will completely eradicate the current dysfunctions of this Browns team? 66% of the voters said this team is too far gone. 34% of the people said, yes, that's what elites do. And I just think the team is just too far gone. But then again, I don't know. I just think our defense is the biggest factor right now. And the play calling is questionable in certain situations. And I think that changes when Deshaun Watson comes back. I'm hopeful that that'll be the case. But I don't know. I don't want to say that this team's too far gone. But I don't think he magically just completely fixes everything. So maybe I'm a little bit in between.
Yeah, it's hard to say it's completely gonna eradicate it. Like those issues on the defense are probably still going to be there, unless, for some mysterious reason, the defense completely changes into a new defense when he comes back, which just isn't realistic. It's not logical. Sure, he may bring a better energy to the field, to the locker room, things like that. But as far as the scheme and things, that stuff, he can't change that stuff. So. I don't think it'll change in that sense. What I think it will do, though, is it'll kind of hide it more, because if the offense is scoring a ton of points and it's a shootout, people really aren't going to complain if we're winning. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if it's 45-42, it's two great offenses going at it.
Yeah.
They're not going to say, well, the defense, so that's where I think it'll kind of hinder it a little bit. Like I said, I think those issues will still be there. So I think you could really you lean more towards the no, that they're too far gone, just as a sense of having to pick something, because those problems on the defense aren't going away. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
They're just if they were middle of the pack average, something like that, I feel like could kind of get more.
On paper, they should be, though.
Yeah,
on paper, they're a great defense.
Yeah, but if they're just kind of struggling here and there, you get somebody in the locker room that brings them more confidence, more moxie, more swag. Yeah. Everybody feels that. But the way they're playing now, they're so bad that I don't think anything is going to change it. But that's just me.
I've seen one person, before we move on, talk about Deshaun Watson isn't going to be the same player because he hasn't played an official snap in 2 years, and he's not going to be able to handle the media and everything. And I think that's just funny. I don't know. I just thought
Would
that
you
was
say
funny.
the same thing about Patrick Mahomes if he was out for 2 years? No, they'd say he's Patrick Mahomes. He's going to come back better than ever. Mm-hmm. Not saying he put up Patrick Mahomes' numbers,
but he would.
But Deshaun Watson, before he was suspended, was in the MVP race.
Yeah, the team just sucked.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, 2 years is a long time. I get that, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think the statement was funny. I'm not here to bash anybody. Everybody has their own opinion, and everybody's wrong at one point in their life, I guess. Moving forward, this is where I get more angry with the Cleveland Browns, or the Cleveland Clowns, as a lot of people like to historically call them. The Browns lost to the Patriots, a third-string fucking quarterback, and coming into this game, I wasn't excited. I wasn't, super pumped. I don't know. I was just, I just had such a terrible feeling about this game. And it turns out my intuition was right. In case you live under a rock, which if you're listening to this podcast, you probably don't, but I feel like I gotta say it anyway. The Browns lost 38-15 to the Patriots. And no, Mac Jones wasn't playing. No, Tom Brady wasn't the quarterback. It was fucking Bailey Zappi, or Zap or whatever. This guy, is he a rookie?
Mm-hmm.
We literally let him torch us. The guy completed 24 of 34 passes for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Completed 70% of his passes. Fucking Ramondre Stevenson rushed for 76 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. And along with, did he have a... No, he didn't have a receiving touchdown. But, yeah. So we let them not only... I don't want to say run all over us, but when it mattered, they did. They had 3 rushing touchdowns. And then we let a rookie quarterback just absolutely torch us. And, yeah, the defense just...
Did what they do.
Played like dog shit again.
Mm-hmm.
I seen a tweet talking about Grant Delpit.
Oh, bro.
Quarterbacks, I think, are averaging...
Like a 136 QB rating.
Yeah.
Passer rating when they're targeting.
And that's the worst in the NFL, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, send that guy packing yesterday. But, this game, in my opinion, and I feel like this is everybody else's opinion, it wasn't just on the defense. The offense played pretty shit, and the play calling in this was like the Kevin Stefanski play calling argument was very strong in this game. Jacoby Brissett threw the ball 45 times and completed 21 of those for 266 yards. He threw 2 picks, which is unlike him, and had a passing touchdown to Amari Cooper.
One was on the first drive, wasn't it?
Yeah, literally the second play.
Yeah.
And that's what the play calling. First play. I think it was just a regular pass. I don't know. A couple yards here and there. I don't really remember. I'll look it up, though. Yeah, Harrison Bryant had a 6-yard pass. Second play of the goddamn game. A play-action pass. Mind you, it's 2nd and 4. A play-action pass, and it's picked off. And my thing is, what is the deal? Why are we coming out and passing the ball? Literally, I don't know. There was a lot of questionable plays. It seemed like Jacoby Brissett was just, not even Jacoby Brissett. Stefanski was just wanted to pass the ball the entire game. Nick Chubb only rushed 12 times for 56 yards. And he averaged 4.7 yards a carry.
In a stacked box.
Yeah.
I mean, they had 8 in the box every play, from what I was reading.
Yeah, and his longest run was 18 yards. So, Kareem Hunt touched the ball 4 times for 12 yards.
Yeah, it's the same thing we talk about, where the defense knows what you're going to do, and you just have the utmost confidence that your offensive line, your fullbacks, tight ends, are just better than the other side. Now, we have one of the best offensive lines in the league. 8 men in the box, 9 men in the box, 7 men, whatever. We scheme it correctly, get a body on a body. Nick Chubb's going to get 4 or 5 yards. It's
Nick Chubb.
It's just going to happen. Now, if everyone does their job. Some of the replays and the film breakdowns that I've seen, guys are missing blocks, guys not chipping. There's just a lot of things that had to go right that they didn't do. So, of course, there were plays where he got bunched up. Even aside from that, the game was 10-6 at halftime. I mean, I didn't watch it. I'm only home from New York, kind of in another dimension. But I kept up on what I could. 10-6 at halftime. I don't know what Nick Chubb's stats were at halftime, but that's a ball game.
I don't think he had ran the ball more than 5 or 6 times at halftime.
Yeah,
I really don't.
I don't know who got the ball first and second half. Like I said, I didn't watch.
The Patriots.
And they scored, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's 17-6 at that point with, say, 10 minutes left in the third quarter. Still early enough to where you can run the goddamn ball. At least establish it enough, and then you do some quick dink dunks. I'm not talking major bombs down the field.
Yeah.
Dink and dunks. You got Cooper, DPJ, Njoku, for God's sakes, Harrison Bryant. Hunt out of the backfield. There's things you can do to where you don't have to. Okay, we can't run the ball. Now let's chuck a 50-yard pass. You know what I mean? Like there's an in between, a happy medium that you can set up before you go for that home run. You know, and they didn't even really try that. I feel like, and I know Brissett threw 2 picks, and maybe they we're just kind of winging it towards the end. I don't necessarily know, but I feel like for the Browns offense, everything has to be set up perfectly. As far as like you obviously set up the run, you then set up the short passes, you then set up play action, and then you go for the home runs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but see, the thing about like his second interception. So they started out and they got the ball after halftime, and they marched down the field in 4 minutes, and he threw a passing touchdown. And then we come out and we, let me see what we do. Hold on. So then we come out and we punted the ball, and then they punted the ball, and then the first play, 7 minutes ago in the third quarter, first play, Jacoby Brissett throws a pick, and they got the ball on our 40-yard line, and then he threw a 31-yard strike to Hunter Henry for a touchdown, and we go up 23-6, and then that's when it just got out of hand, where every play we're running the football, or not running the football, we're passing the ball, and I mean, you have to. At that point, you're down 24-6. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like, I don't know. I just don't understand the whole just trying to, even before we were down by a large margin, I really just felt like we were passing the ball too much. Yeah. And people were talking about on Twitter, I seen them saying like, well, the run has been getting stuffed, yada, yada, yada. I mean, at that point, Nick Chubb had only touched the ball like 5 or 6 times.
How do you know he's getting stuffed?
Yeah. And then he had a couple decent runs. 6 yards here, 8 yards there. He had an 18-yard run. I just feel like I feel like the sample size is too small to say, oh, well, the run wasn't working. Yeah, I don't know. I just think we just got outcoached.
100%, that's what it is.
We got outcoached.
Again, he tries to outsmart himself along with the other head coach. If there's one thing that I have come to learn, there are not many coaches in the NFL who are going to outcoach Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick may lose some games, but it ain't going to be because of his coaching.
Yeah.
And Stefanski and we've said this again, he's like, they think I'm going to do this. Well, let me do the complete opposite with Bill Belichick knowing that he's going to do the complete opposite, knowing that it's going to bite him in the ass, if that makes sense. So I don't. I don't get it.
I just want to go over this because his first 2 runs of the game came after Jacoby Brissett threw the pick at the second play of the game, and it's evidence to me that going into halftime, he had, running the ball with him, we had a positive outcome. Nick Chubb's first run, 1st and 10 on the Cleveland 25, with 7:27 left to go in the first quarter. Nick Chubb rushed the left for 8 yards. 8-yard gain. Second rush. Nick Chubb rushed the left for 7-yard gain. Right? Then it's 1st and 10. What do we do? Jacoby Brissett, incomplete pass to the left. All right? 2nd and 10. Okay, Chubb gets stuffed. It is what it is. Then we had a 33-yard strike. Whatever. We got in a field goal range. We kicked a field goal. Then let me see. Nick Chubb rushed to the left for 3-yard gain. Yeah, he got stuffed this drive. And we went for it on 4th and 1 on a hurry-up. It was a hurry-up, 4th and 1 where they just, lined up for it, and Jacoby Brissett went for which that's another thing that we got to stop doing is going for it on 4th and 1 so much.
I'm so sick of that, bro.
Granted, we're on the New England 18, but I'm just not a fan of doing that shit all the time because at this point, everybody knows what we're going to do,
Yeah. 100%. Every single team we've played has our number because they know exactly what he's going to do. On 4th and 1, you put everybody at the line of scrimmage, he's going to take it himself, which I know he's been successful, but eventually teams are going to figure that out. You know what I mean? Yeah. On 4th and +3, They're doing some stupid play action to a tight end dragging across the end zone or whatever. Teams have figured that out. In my opinion, for the rest of the season, if you're anywhere near the end zone or in the red zone, and it's 4th and anything, take the goddamn points. And I know people say, had we taken the 3 points in the first half, we wouldn't have lost. And I know that's hard to say because the game changes so much throughout the game. However, you take the points. They're guaranteed points. You don't get that first down. All that does is give the defense confidence, gives their offense coming out of the field confidence to go down and do something. Takes away confidence from your defense because they may have just come off the field. You're driving, you get no points, now they're back on the field. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that go into that. And I've always thought anytime your offense gets points, it's a successful drive. 3, 6, 7, 8, doesn't matter. You got points. I'm not an analytic guy. I don't pretend to be. But I know that's their thing now. Take the goddamn points. Because if later in the game you are ahead by 1.
Well, we've seen 2 losses so far this season where
literally
we've lost.
It's 31-29. And if we kick the 3 points early in the game, or at any point in the game, I don't even want to say earlier in the game, you're up 3. And I feel like when you're leading in a game, even going in, later into the game you're leading, that's building your confidence. Like, okay, let's close it out. If you're trailing in the game and you know that you left points on the board, it's hard to really build up the, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a pro, but that's as a fan who watches every single Sunday for the last umpteen years, that's how it feels. That's how it looks to me. But something's got to change.
So, going through, before we move on, I was just going through the plays as Sean was talking. Nick Chubb ran the ball 8 times in the first half. I didn't calculate, how many yards he had. He ran the ball 4 times in the second half for a total of 30 yards. So, I'll take that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do the math, but that's around 8 or 9 yards per rush. Granted, they're expecting us to throw because we're down big, but I don't know. I just think you run him more in the fucking first half, in my opinion. Yeah. So, Myles Garrett
had the 1 strip sack.
He had 2 sacks.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, it says he has 2 sacks. 3 solo tackles. Our defense just, I think, overall played fucking like shit. Let me see here. I wanted to see penalties, but it doesn't show. Yeah, we had 7 penalties for 63 yards. A total of 70 rushing yards. So, I don't know. I think that's a problem, but
huge problem.
Whatever. We'll see if they get it together.
Yeah.
At this
what's
point,
crazy though is going into. I know we haven't talked about it yet. Maybe this could be a segue into it. Everyone's expecting us to get our absolute dicks kicked in this weekend. Nobody's expecting us to win. Everyone is expecting to see Lamar probably shatter every freaking quarterback rushing record there is.
Yeah.
These are the games where the Browns usually turn it around.
Yeah.
AKA Cincinnati last year. But I don't want I don't want to jinx it.
I don't know who it was that said this. Maybe it was John Johnson. Somebody was saying we have a tough schedule coming up, but we play the Ravens and then the Bengals, and we win both of those games, we're in first place. So
it's not wrong.
No, they're not wrong, and it's not an avenue that I want to take because if we have a better divisional record than them in head-to-heads, we win out in the head-to-head, it doesn't matter if our record fucking sucks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If we win the rest of our divisional games, cool, pat on the back, but you got to win against Miami and Buffalo and you know what I mean? So they're banking on winning these 2 divisional games without Watson, and then Watson coming back and then winning the last 6 games of the season, and then but at that point
you're in the hunt. Yeah.
You're
relying on other teams.
Yeah, you'd be what, 9-8? Because we're 2-4. You beat Baltimore. you're 4-4. You lose to Miami and Buffalo, you're 4-6. 4-7. And then, so you'd be 10-7.
Which would get this year, based on what we've seen so far, would get you in. But that's banking on us
Having
beating Cincy and Baltimore without Watson.
Yeah.
Now with Watson against those games could be interesting.
We have to win.
Oh wait, he's not even back then.
No,
Miami and Buffalo. Oh yeah.
we have to win 2 of these next 5. Miami, potentially,
Maybe.
but we got to win 2 of the next 5. I know Tampa Bay just lost to the Steelers, but I'm still not ruling that out as a dub.
They're kind of washed.
Buffalo,
If we're being completely honest, and I'm being 100% honest, I think Tampa this year is a lot more beatable than people are wanting to admit, especially after the way they just played against Pittsburgh. They couldn't get anything going. And Tom Brady came out and said, like the other day, he said playing in, he's compared playing in the NFL season to like being in a war, which was a stupid thing to say. But I think that this season has so many distractions with him, with all the other shit going on, with Bruce Arians being involved, not being head coach, and that sort of thing.
Yeah. His outside life.
Yeah, and there's they have a lot of talent, but I think they're beatable. Buffalo, Miami, we'd have to play an absolute perfect game.
Yeah.
Maybe if Tua ain't playing, God, praying for his health. But if for whatever reason he doesn't play in that game, I like our chances because Teddy B and whoever else they're not.
Well, I'm pretty sure Teddy B got.
He's hurt too. Yeah.
Maybe.
So
I don't know.
But Buffalo, there's absolutely not a snowball's chance in hell we're beating them.
Yeah.
So definitely mark that up as an L. But I don't like saying, well, if I don't like doing that. If we won the games we should have won early in the season, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, we beat Atlanta. We beat the Jets. I mean, yeah, it sucks that we just lost 2 straight and our teams played like shit. But we're sitting at 4-2.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Moving on. The Browns play the Ravens this week in Baltimore. The Ravens are favored by 6.5, which is rough.
But it's fair.
And they
should be favored by more, to be honest.
The 3 losses that the Ravens have are Miami, which was a shootout.
Mm-hmm.
Miami came back and beat them. They lost to Buffalo, 2023. And then they lost to the Giants last week, which was very shocking. Are the Giants really that good, or did the Ravens just
Well, bro,
was it a dud?
If we're being honest, and this is completely being honest, the Ravens don't have the run game outside of Lamar that they normally do. J.K. Dobbins.
Kenyon Drake rushed for 120
okay,
rushing yards
it's
last
Kenyon
week.
fucking Drake. He'll never do that again in his lifetime.
Yeah.
They used to have Dobbins and Gus Edwards and even Justice Hill. I mean, they had a plethora of running backs who could do damage. Hollywood Brown would do jet sweep. They don't have him anymore. Bateman was out. The only really receiver they had was Mark Andrews, who's going to go off regardless, and Devin Duvernay, who didn't do anything. You know what I mean? So they kind of it was one of those situations where it's like, you let Andrews do his thing, he's not going to be the reason why we lose. And that is exactly what happened. Yeah, Kenyon Drake ran for 140, and they still lost.
120.
So
and Lamar rushed for 77.
And they still lost. So what does that tell you? Grant, I give New York credit for
2
being
weeks
better.
ago, Kenyon Drake rushed for 26 yards.
Yeah, literally.
It was just I don't want to say it was a fluke.
100% a fluke.
Yeah.
The Giants said he ain't going to be the reason why we lose.
Yeah.
Let him do whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, they rushed for over 250 rushing yards and still lost. So he had no one to throw to. Mark Andrews probably had a buck something, I'm assuming.
117.
Okay. And what was the top leading receiver outside of Mark Andrews?
Some Isaiah guy.
Who? Isaiah Likely?
Yeah.
Another tight end was a leading receiver, and that's why they lost. You know what I mean? I know it was close, 2024.
Yeah. Yeah, Isaiah Likely had 2 catches for 30 yards.
And that was their second leading receiver in the ballgame. That's why they lost.
I don't even know who these receivers are.
But
Demarcus Robinson?
literally.
Where's the dude they drafted?
Bateman. He's hurt.
Oh,
He
he's
was
hurt?
He's back now. But yeah, that's what the Giants said. Hey, let's play our brand of football. We know Andrews is good. We know Lamar's gonna run. We play our brand of football. We get a lead. We keep it. We're gonna make them throw. They cannot win. That is exactly what happened. So
And looking at the way the Giants played, this transitions into the way the Browns should play, right? Daniel Jones completed 19 of 27 passes for 173 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks. He got sacked 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
QB rating of 112. That's how Jacoby Brissett needs to play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's be real here.
Yep.
Saquon Barkley had 22 rushes for 83 yards and a rushing touchdown, and their tight end, Daniel Bellinger, was their leading receiver.
Who?
Daniel Bellinger. 5 targets, 5 receptions, 38 yards, and a touchdown. I don't know who this Wandale Robinson was their second leading receiver, 3 catches, 37 yards, 1 touchdown.
How many catches did
Saquon have?
Yeah.
3 for 12 yards.
Did he score?
He had a rushing touchdown.
Oh, okay.
But
So in other words, a rather Nick Chubb-esque
yeah.
stat
And Daniel
line.
Jones had a fumble.
Yeah.
He had a fumble loss. So, but my thing is, like, that type of game plan could be the Browns' exact game plan with a little bit more rushing yards, because let's be real here, Nick Chubb is better than Saquon Barkley. But yeah, I mean, Jacoby Brissett doesn't need to pass the ball for more than 27 times.
No.
As long as you don't make mistakes. And I don't know, that just shows me we should go I don't want to say all out run, but
Well, I mean, the Ravens' defense isn't what they usually are.
yeah.
They have a lot of injuries. They seem to be having a lot of the same type of issues that the Browns are, where their defense on paper looks great, and then they come into the game and you're getting shredded.
Looking at these the league rankings, right? So points scored per game. Browns are 5th, Ravens are 7th. Pretty equal. Points allowed per game, the Browns are 30th, the Ravens are 20th. But there's only a 4-point difference there. So yards per game. Ravens are 13th, the Browns are 6th. Browns are averaging 393 yards per game. So I like that. But Browns are still first in rush yards per game. Let me see. They don't have rush yards against per game on here? Well, that's stupid. But either way, I think we just run the ball heavy, if you ask me.
I know we say that every single week.
And I'm not even going to say anything about what we do to contain Lamar Jackson, because every year I say the same thing: stay home, don't let him run the ball, and it doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a single game plan piece of advice for the defense. The only thing I'll say to them is good fucking luck.
They're going to piss me off again this week, and I'm going to try not to get mad.
The offense, though, like you said, the game plan, again, for the 7th game in a row, is pretty fucking crystal clear. Don't abort your game plan because your quarterback, because, hey, say Baltimore gets the ball first and they don't score or they turn the ball over. Whatever your game plan was, probably run on the first play. Fucking run the ball on the first play. Don't we just held them. Let's go for a flea flicker, 60-yard, hook and ladder, pitch, whatever, jets, whatever the fuck they want to call it. Run the shit that works. Get down the field. Find the plays that are going to work for you and do them. You don't have to get cute and sexy on the first fucking drive of the game.
No.
The team knows they think you're going to run the ball. Be better than them on the first play and run the goddamn ball.
Literally.
Something's going to have to give eventually.
Don't try to fucking, they expect us to run the ball.
So let's throw
we're going to
action.
come out and throw the ball 2 times in a row with a play action.
And now it's 3rd and
10. To me, in order to run a fucking play action, you have
to
to establish the goddamn run. Yeah. So running that on the 2nd play of the game, where on the 1st play of the game you don't run the ball, just mind boggles me.
Yeah,
so
I don't.
And it was the typical play action, roll to the right, throw to a tight end. I'm pretty sure it was intended for David Njoku. I don't remember the pick, the first pick, the 2nd play of the game.
I thought it was to a wide receiver down the field.
It was like a 30-yard pass, yeah. But either way, we run that all the time.
And if you're gonna run, play action. If you're gonna pass that early, which I don't recommend, but if you're gonna do it, high efficiency passes, short throws, drag routes, not screens because I fucking hate screen passes. Crossing routes, hook route, whatever, 5-yard outs, digs, whatever you want to call it. Get his confidence up, completing some passes, gelling with his receivers, and then you can establish the home run to the DPJ over the top or Njoku down the seam or something like that. But you got to establish that stuff before you just go run it. Sure, they could do it in practice on air 10 out of 10 times, but anybody who's played football and knows football, that don't mean shit. It doesn't mean anything. You can't. In a game, you got to build up to those things. I mean, I'm not an NFL head coach. People can call me a fucking idiot if they want to, but to me, you got to build up to those things, especially when you have a guy who can't just come out and just flip a switch and he's on from first snap. He's not that type of player. Yeah. Deshaun Watson, maybe. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, all those guys, sure. Jacoby Brissett, no. Let him get his confidence up and get the feel for what the defense is giving him and where they're lining up and where he can see windows and things like that, and then get to that home run stuff. I don't know why they think they can do it with him. I think it's pretty obvious that he can't. So why keep doing it?
Yeah, I don't think we see him throw the ball as much as he did last week.
We said the same thing the week before. He threw 35, 40 passes. We said, oh, he won't throw that many. This week he threw 45. So I don't understand. It's pretty fucking aggravating to watch. I am 100% glad that I missed this game.
I think I said probably 10 times throughout the entire game, which, mind you, I forgot to even mention. I turned the game off with 4 minutes left in the third quarter just because I was just annoyed. But I literally probably said a million times, why are we throwing the ball? You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure I put it in our group chat of why are we throwing the ball? So...
Every week you send that same text.
Literally.
Every single week.
A lot of times I get ignored, but I don't know. So
it's just I'm getting a migraine talking about it.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's not been a fun last 2 weeks of L's. The loss against Atlanta frustrated me because it was Atlanta, but then last week's loss or the Chargers loss was it's expected. But even then, it's frustrating because fucking Brissett threw that pick when he should have just ran the ball in. But then, to lose against the Patriots, we didn't even lose. We got fucking slapped around by a third-string quarterback. And then on top of that, the play calling, I don't know. I didn't expect our defense to do much, but I set the bar pretty low, and they literally just stepped on the bar. So... it's talking about the Browns is just frustrating, and I want to get on here and just swear a whole lot, and I just I'm not gonna do that. So, moving on, we're gonna hit our quick picks, locks, and upsets. Do you have yours? Probably not. Sir. Probably not.
Let me pull it
That's what did I expect?
Wait a second. Let me pull up a snippet here, sir. The winner.
One game. See, you do this shit when you win.
Your boy, DJ Shawnee Sean in the building.
What game did I get wrong to where you took the dub?
You got your upset wrong. So I got both mine right, which gives me an extra point. So we both picked the same amount of game. Oh, and you got Kansas City.
I picked Dallas
over... You picked the Chiefs to beat the Bills?
It was a close game. It ended on a fucking pick. You look at the record. Patrick Mahomes has beat the Bills.
Not in the regular season. Bills beat the
regular season don't fucking matter.
It's regular season. Now, had you said the playoffs,
when it comes to Chiefs,
I would have picked the Chiefs.
I'm saying overall. But anyway, and then I picked the Dallas Cowboys over the Eagles.
I did.
No, you did?
Yeah. Because you were like, what?
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah, that's right. I did pick the Eagles. Yeah, give me that.
Yeah, you definitely picked the Eagles. Somewhere. Right there, Philly.
Oh, and I had Jacksonville.
You had Jacksonville.
And they lost, bro. But anyway, I have my upset. So, my upset is going to be the Giants over the Jags. Why the Jags are favored? No idea. But according to Yahoo Sports right now, the Jags are favored 3 points to the 5-1 Giants. And then my Lockington is going to be the Dolphins over the trash-ass Steelers. So,
Let me look at these spreads. All right.
there wasn't really much on there.
No, at least not yet. Colts and Titans. Titans are -3. Titans are -3. Huh? You said the Jags are -3 against the Giants?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means the Titans are favored. Okay. Tricky.
Tick-tock, tick-tock. Wait, I'm not talking about the app.
All right. So my upset, and it's going to be a juicy one. It's going to be a mind blower, but not really. They got the Broncos -3 against the Jets.
They're -1 on Yahoo, but either
The Broncos are?
Yeah, they're still favored.
That team is dog shit, bro.
The Jets are 4-2, bro.
The Broncos are dog shit.
I know. I'm saying the Jets are 4-2.
The Jets are gonna win this game, dude.
I think so.
And they've been hot, bro. They just beat the Packers. They beat the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay.
Bro, they beat the dog shit out of the fucking Dolphins. Granted, Tua didn't play, but I mean, you still have a decent team.
Yeah, I like the Jets in this game. I'm 150% off of the Broncos wagon. I think Russ is cooked. I don't think he's doing any cooking. I think he's just cooked.
Look at this, bro. Zach Wilson threw 10 of 18 passes for 110 yards, no touchdowns.
And they won.
How did they score 27 points?
I don't know.
Breece Hall had...
We ain't going over their stats. I still got to do my... So that was my upset. Statistician, if you're listening, I'm taking the Jets over the Broncos. All right. So my lock this week, and I'm going to go with the... Man, not a lot of good games this week.
Hurry up.
I'm going to go with the Chiefs over the Niners. I think that's going to be a better game than people are going to give credit for. But I think the Chiefs are kind of starting to get in their groove, just as they always seem to do. So that's going to be my Lockington.
All right, starting it off, first game of the week. We got the Cardinals and the Saints. D-Hop is back. I'm going with Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cardinals as well.
Then we have Falcons and Bengals. Bengals are favored by 6.5, so I'm probably gonna go Bengals.
Yeah, I'm going Bengals. The Falcons are not a good team. The Bengals will eventually get their shit together too, and they're just a better team. So I'm going Cincy.
Lions versus Cowboys. Cowboys announced tonight that Dak Prescott's back. So for all my fantasy people out there, if you got Dalton Schultz stashed, fire him up because my dude's coming. Dude scored 0 points in the last 3 games. So fire my boy Dalton Schultz up. Shout out to him. And if Dalton Schultz is listening,
He's not.
He's not. But let me get a jersey, my guy. I've been rocking with you for the past 2 years.
I'm gonna take Dallas because I think Dak is just gonna provide a spark for him. I think it's gonna be close. It may be in a little bit of a shootout because for some reason the Lions' offense seems to score points. But I like the Cowboys in this one.
Then we have, this was your lock? Titans and Colts? Oh. I'm going Titans.
Nah, my boy JT is back. Jonathan Taylor, give me the Colts.
Yeah, give me the Colts.
No, take these back.
No, it's official.
Get the whiteout out.
It's official. It's official.
We're gonna get an invoice.
I'm gonna go with the Colts. I didn't know Jonathan Taylor was back. So, then we have Browns versus Ravens. Ravens are favored by 6.5, but and I'm not even gonna say it because I feel like that's jinxing it. But you guys know what I want to say. But I'm taking the Browns. You're thinking about it. Don't do this. That's fake. That's fake.
Give me the Ravens, and I'll explain why.
Oh, no.
So I was tweeting this kid earlier. His name was Kyle, and he had said that this was the first week that he didn't pick the Browns in his pick'em. And I said, that sounds like a necessary sacrifice to me. And he said, for sure, it was easy. So I would be an absolute hypocrite to not do the same thing. He may be listening. So, Kyle, I'm with you. I'm taking the Ravens. Now let's move on to the next game. No explanation needed.
I can't believe the words that are coming out of your mouth. Yeah. Next game we got Packers and the Commanders. I'm gonna go with the Packers just because it's the Packers, but I don't know. The Packers are shaking.
They're not
man.
losing to the Commanders.
No, they're not losing to Carson Wentz and the Commanders.
I think he's hurt. Taylor Heineke might be.
My man, Taylor Heineke. I'm picking him up in fantasy.
Wow. Yeah, the Packers are not going to lose this game. I'm taking the Packers.
Brian Robinson goes off for 3 touchdowns.
That's fine. They can still lose.
Hashtag Q many men by 50 Cent.
Oh.
Then we have the Buccaneers and the Panthers. The Buccaneers are favored to win by 11. Give me the Buccaneers. Although I see they just Sam Darnold I think is coming off the IR soon. So
Is Baker starting this week?
no, I'm pretty sure he's hurt.
Still?
He was in a walking boot.
Oh. I didn't know if he gave one of those put the team on my back, chip on my shoulder, grind it out, I'll get surgery 6 years from now type of deal. But regardless, whether he's out there or not, there's not a snowball's chance in hell that Carolina's winning this game. Tom Brady just got embarrassed by the Steelers. They're going to beat the shit out of them.
I just want to talk about the Baker Bros for a second.
Oh, God.
Everybody that really, like, genuinely, like, no troll, like, and I know people sided with Baker Mayfield because they were against the whole Deshaun Watson thing, whatever. That aside, you cannot look me in my goddamn eyes and tell me that you think Baker Mayfield trading for Deshaun Watson and getting rid of Baker Mayfield was a mistake. Baker Mayfield is utter dog shit. Look at the team that he has. DJ Moore, he had Robbie Anderson, and you have Christian McCaffrey who has, I haven't even looked at his stats, but granted, he's a top 5 running back when healthy. And I get it, your offensive line is dog shit, but I don't know. He's just trash. So, fuck Baker Mayfield. Then we have my upset, the Giants versus the Jags. Who you got? Jags lost last week.
I'm going to take the Giants. They're
Jags
coming off a
are
win.
The Giants are on a 3-game win streak, and the Jags are on a 3-game losing streak.
Yeah,
so.
I'm going to take the Giants.
Then we have your upset, the Jets over the Broncos, and I'm going to go with the Jets too. I just think the Broncos are just like disorganized and just, we keep saying every week they're going to get it together. They're going to get it together. I don't think they're going to get it together.
No,
Russell Wilson came out hot in the first quarter. He was 10 of 10.
Yeah, with a touchdown.
And then he threw a strike to their tight end. And then comes out, I think he was like 2 of 8 in the second half.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Then we have the Texans versus the Raiders. This is the barn burner of the week. But I'm going to go with the Raiders just because the Texans are the Texans.
Yeah, I'm taking the Raiders in this one as well.
Seahawks and Chargers. Probably going to go Chargers.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chargers. Keenan Allen's back.
Oh, yeah, it's over. Yeah. And then this was your lock, Chiefs and Niners. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go Chiefs too. This might be pretty nasty.
I don't think it will. I think the 49ers, they have a very good defense. I don't think it'll be like a blowout per se, but the Chiefs could start to pull away in the end. Yeah. That's a rematch of the Super Bowl a few years ago.
Yeah. And Jimmy G starting. Mm-hmm. And then this was my lock, the Dolphins over the Steelers. I don't even know if Mitch Trubisky's starting this week.
I have no idea.
I know Kenny Pickett was in concussion protocol, and Mitch came out and literally led them to a dub over the Buccaneers last week.
Won't happen against this offense.
No, but yeah, I'm going to take the Dolphins, especially if Tua's back.
Yeah, I'm taking the Dolphins. Tua, with those receivers, dude, there's no way to stop them on offense. They're too fast. They do too many things well when everyone is healthy, and I don't think Pittsburgh's defense can stop those guys. That's just me.
And then the last game, is the Chicago Bears versus the New England Patriots. Primetime game for the second week in a row. We get the Bears.
This is Monday night?
Yeah. Monday night. They played Thursday night last week.
Why? These primetime games have been terrible.
Absolute. I'm not even going to say it, but I said it.
Even before the season, why would you pick the Bears to go in primetime so many times? You know they're going to be dog shit. I don't know. That's just me.
Give me the Patriots. They're favored by 8 points.
Yeah, I'll take New England. I don't really care who wins.
Yeah.
But I'll take New England for the sake of taking the team.
I will say get Justin Fields off the Chicago Bears.
100%. They're going to ruin that man.
Yeah. So that's going to do it. I hope the next time you guys hear from us, we're a little bit more joyful because the Browns won. But who fucking knows at this point? I'm not getting my hopes up. So, thank you guys for tuning in. You know we drop episodes every Thursday. And as always, we'll see you guys on the other side.